In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your front brakes on your Hyundai Accent. It's located behind your front wheels. Using a 21mm socket, I'm going to take off the front wheel. Using a 14mm socket, we're going to take our bolts out for our caliper. Crack them both loose first. Take the bottom one out. And then the top. Make sure you take off this rubber piece off your bleeder. All right, using a 10mm wrench, we're going to break open this bleeder. Okay. Make sure that opens, and when we compress our caliper, we are going to have the bleeder open while doing so. You may need a pry bar just to compress it slightly. Get the caliper off of the rotor. So I put my pry bar inside the rotor between the two edges, and then I just push slightly to compress that to get it off. All right, so you're going to put this off to the side. You're going to use a caliper hanger or something similar and hang it off your spring, your strut spring. Make sure you don't kink that brake hose. Using a 17mm socket, we're going to loosen up our caliper bracket bolts. Gotta leave the top one in for a second. And then make sure you're holding on to your bracket before you take that bolt out on the top. Sometimes they fall off, sometimes they don't. Now you can pull off your bracket with brakes in it, and we're going to take this over to the bench. All right, I'm going to use an impact driver to loosen up our rotor screws. So you press it in, and you turn as you hammer. And then you can take them out. Hopefully your rotor comes off. All right, so we're going to clean off our hub area. Make sure it's somewhat rust-free. Using a wire brush, especially around here, where it builds up a little and makes it so it's hard to get your rotor off sometimes. And right around this inner edge here. After you're done, you can spray it down with some brake parts cleaner. All right, after that dries off, you can hit it with some anti-seize. All right, so when we're putting our performance rotor on, we are going to make sure that these holes line up with our screws that we pulled out of there. After you place that in there, you can go ahead and put the screws in. And that just holds your rotor on, so you don't have to put a lug nut there. So I like to take my bracket out with the pads in it so that I can match up my brake pads and make sure I'm putting everything where it belongs. So the sensor is on the bottom for this one. I have my tins here, and now we're going to take out our pads. And our tins, we can take those off. Good. So now we're going to look at our bracket, and we're going to use a wire brush and clean that up. So you want to make sure it's cleaned off, and you can do the same on the other side. All right, we're going to put a thin layer of silicone paste here where your tins are going, and on the other side as well. And we're just going to place these on top. Make sure they seat down nicely. Otherwise your pads will be a pain to get in there. Do the same on the other side. All right, next we're going to check our slides. Make sure they're not frozen. Make sure there's no rips in the boot. And to do that, you're going to just pull it away, twist. You might need something to help it. Sometimes the other side comes out easier. And leave the boot on the bracket. All right, so I'm going to wipe off this old grease, and then we're going to put new silicone paste on the slide. Set that off to the side and do the same on the bottom one. So now we can take out our boot out of here, give it a good inspection, try to get some of that old stuff out. And we are going to put some paste in there. All right, so now I'm going to clean out this cylinder. I'm using a wire brush on a drill. That's probably good. All right, next we're going to put some silicone paste in here and in here. So we're going to put this in first. Make sure that's in, and then you can put your pin in. When you put it in, make sure you get all the air out. Put your boot on there. You're going to see it kind of expand like that. That means there's a lot of air. So you're just going to pick up this lip. You might need a screwdriver or a pick or something and just pick it up a little. You want to get all the excess and the air out. And then you're going to pull it and make sure it recedes back in. Do the same on the other side. All right, so now we're going to bring the bracket over to the car before we put our pads in, because it'll just be easier for this setup. All right, so I'm going to put my bracket on and get my bolts started. All right, so we're going to snug up these bolts, and then we're going to torque them to 65 foot-pounds. The manufacturer says 58 to 72, so we're going to go right in the middle. 65. The one with the sensor goes on the inside and on the bottom. Okay, and then we'll do the other end. All right, so we're going to compress our caliper with our tool. And we're going to catch our brake fluid with this hose and container. And we are going to compress the caliper. Once that's compressed, you can tighten up your bleeder. And that should prevent the air from going in the caliper. So tighten that up. Take that away. And now we can take this tool away and put our caliper back onto the bracket. All right, so now we can take this off our hanger and place it on our bracket. You're going to push your slides in. And now we can put our bolts in. We're going to snug these up and then torque them to about 20 foot-pounds. Okay, we're going to torque this to 20 foot-pounds. And put your rubber cap back on your bleeder. Okay, now you can do the same to the other side. And after you're done, you're going to go inside the car, check your brake pedal, make sure it's nice and up high and hard. Check your master cylinder, make sure the brake fluid is topped off. All right. We'll put our wheel on. Start our lug nuts by hand. Using a 21mm socket, we're going to tighten up our lug nuts in a crisscross manner. Going to walk the wheel on. We're going to torque our wheels to 80 foot-pounds. The specification is 65 to 80, and I'm going to go with the top. You're going to do this in a crisscross pattern.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.